Welcome back to Building with Forgot. In between episodes, I did some work. I got some villagers down here. I've also built another section of the sewer system, and I've added a villager breeder down here. The reason for the villager breeder is because I'm completely out of iron and lapis. And if you have a cleric villager, which uses the brewing stand, he will sell lapis and the iron I can get from an iron farm, which I'm going to build in today's episode. The cleric villager also buys rotten flesh, which I have an infinite supply of since I have a drown farm. Alright, now I'm going to fill in the walls with the villager breeder. Alright, now I want to make the roof for the villager breeder, so I'm going to add a little dome to the top. And then I think I'm just going to have the stairs wrap around and make it like a square dome. Alright, I finished off the roof and I added in glowberries for more light, and I added in the carrots, which is the last part to make the farm other than the villagers. They also need the collection chamber down here. Now I want to make the floors, walls, and ceiling of this tunnel of the sewer system. Alright, now I'm going to add in some detail to this tunnel so I can get rid of all the torches. I want to add in some glowberries right here, just along the entire tunnel. And then some hanging roots too. And then add some drip leaf into the water to look like lily pads. And then finally some moss just in the floor to look like some sort of grass is growing. Just dot it around the place. Bone meal these to add lights. Alright, I think this looks nice. I've also added in the villagers. And I haven't made the collection system yet, so I need to work on that before they start breeding. Then there'll just be baby villagers all throughout the sewer system. That'd be a giant mess. So I'm gonna get on to work on that. Alright, they just bred for the first time. I think the baby went in there, and then it should... Once it grows up, it should go into here. Yeah, I think it's just waiting to grow, and then it should swim up this water column right here and be forced into that corner where I can have a minecart rail, collect it, and then I'm going to dig out a room right here to add like the zombie purification or whatever it is to get the better trades. Alright, I finished off the farm completely. I've put a brick wall right here, and when you walk through it, you have this entire room. This is where they'll be stored for when they're being cured. This is where all the adults are stored, and then I could take a minecart and bring them across. And into here, this is where I'll pick their trades out, and I'll keep re-rolling their trades. And then once they're finished, I can press this lever, they'll go over here. And the reason why I did this, instead of having them go straight over here to where the zombie will be, is because I might accidentally click this lever, and then they'll just go straight across. But instead I made like a, are you sure you want to do this type thing, where the only way to actually make them go further is to flip this switch and then this one for them to go right here. This is where they'll be turned into a zombie. Then I can press this button, and they'll keep going. That needs to be turned on always, and then they'll go straight into the storage place where they'll be cured. And it should only need one potion right here to cure all 8 of the slots. And I think that's the best design I can come up with. The villagers are also half jungle biome since I'm in a jungle biome. Alright, I have this trap set for a zombie. He'll step into the boat, and then I'll just break this block. He'll fall down perfectly into place. But for now, I'm going to make the entrance on this road into the sewer system. So I'm just going to break these blocks. I've already punched a hole through the center. I just need to decorate it. So I just take out these walls and then replace them with brick. And then for the top of it, I'm just going to place in stone with a button and a trapdoor so I can fall into it. Alright, and now in the villager breeder, I wanted to add a dispenser right here with a button on it. And put the minecarts in and test it. And it's working. Alright, and then he stops there, and he should... Oh, I had that placed wrong. Whoops. Should be able to place them back over here, though. Alright, turn that off. Flip that. Turn that off. Alright, push them back. Okay. I need to go grab the brewing stand real quick. Alright, and that messing up is a great reason why I have this "Are you sure you want to continue?" line right here. And let's see. I just leveled him up, so he should sell something else now. There it is. This is what I need. I ran out of lapis and now I have an infinite supply of it. He also buys gold, so I'm going to put a lot of these at a gold farm in the future once I have one. Alright, I moved the cleric villager over to this side of the sewer system, and I've been using the drown farm that I made in the last episode to enchant all of the diamond armor that I have, and the tools that I've made. I've spent a couple of hours enchanting all my tools and armor, and this is now overflowing. So I think I need to make an on-off switch, or actually I'm just going to make a little tunnel, like right here, to access the beds in here. If there's not 3 beds, they shouldn't breed more. Alright, and I'm going to put a door here, and right here. I'm just going to get... Actually, I'm going to use this polished granite because it'll look better. I wanted to add granite all along the walls to make them look more detailed because this is just brick all over the place. And I wanted to finish off the center area too. Alright, and that looks way better now. The little details, it looks like it's cracked. I'm going to do it to this side of the tunnel too. Alright, and now that that's detailed, I want to connect that tunnel to this new one that I put in. And I also want to make a central chamber right here. That'll be very large compared to the tunnels. Alright, I've connected the two tunnels, and I've added in the granite already, but now I need to add in some foliage all around the tunnel, because I don't want to use torches. I'd rather have glowberries lighting the place, and it just needs some greenery. Alright, that looks a lot better without the torches, and it's a lot more green too. I also forgot to mention that I redid the fountain, and this is because these water chutes down here were a little bit too close together, and I just didn't like it. So I made them a little bit further apart, and I think it looks a lot nicer. Alright, now that I have lapis from the villager, I now need to work on iron. And I think I want to make a giant iron farm right here. I'm going to clear out the land and flatten it, and then I'm going to build the farm, and then I'm going to build a factory over top of it. But first, I need to gather all of these materials to create the factory. I just came down here, and apparently an Enderman has destroyed my entire villager thing. I'm surprised none of them escaped. They almost could have. The good thing I put the glass there. In the next episode, I'm going to download a data pack to disable Enderman briefing, because that's kind of annoying. If I just walk into different areas of my base and I see a giant mess that can almost destroy my entire world. Alright, I've flattened the grounds, and I've gotten rid of all the jungle trees and the bushes and the vines, and I think it looks a whole lot better, and now it's easier to build on. But now I need to gather all the materials for the farm itself, which I've started right here, and I've only really gathered the things made of iron and the hard things to get that are needed in the farm. And right here I'm going to start collecting all the bricks and other building blocks that I need for the farm. Alright, and I've finished gathering all the blocks for the farm itself, and I've gathered all of the materials for the building above it. which I have a lot of copper and bricks. Alright, now I'm going to build the farm underneath, and then after that I'm going to have a time lapse of me building the structure above it. Alright, now that I'm done with the actual farm itself, I'm going to build the cosmetic building around it so it doesn't look so ugly. Alright, and I'm now finished with the iron farms build above it. I think it came out pretty nice. I have iron written across the front. I tried to use banners, but they were just too small. It was only 2x4, and that was like the size of one of the letters. But I think this looks really good. I made a gradient on the rooftop, and this is the first time I've ever used dirt as like a building block to detail brickwork. And there's also oak logs in there to make it a little bit darker. For the smokestacks, I've only used 2 hay bales out of the 4 campfires to make it look a little bit thinner at the top. So it's not just a giant plume of smoke. It's just like a block. Instead, it looks like it's kind of slowly fading out as it goes up. I also use stained glass instead of just regular glass windows, and I think that looks a lot nicer. And I've added in a garage door here to stop mobs from coming in. But it does work, and I haven't seen any iron golems spawn on the roof, so I think it's completely spawn protected. So I think this completely works perfectly fine. I didn't put a garage door here, I still need to do that, and this hole right here is to expand this way a little bit. Because I was thinking I was going to add like a shop or something right here. Maybe in a few episodes, I don't really know. It might be a different farm or a different factory. I didn't really do any like detail work on this side as much, but I think it still looks fine. If I do want to add like another spot of dirt right there, I can later on. I also added brown stained glass to make the walls look a little bit thicker, like those letters actually connect properly. I think it came out really nice though for how small the letters are. I think I'm going to call that the end of the video though, because this looks perfectly fine, and I've finished my goal, which was to get lapis and iron, and now I have farms for both of those.